Hey, y'all, if you're hearing my voice, you're watching Nick's stream. You're watching American Anchor Baby. Please hold on as we do some technical work here. It looks like when we started the stream, we ran into the issue from the other day. So please hold. Working it out. Thank you. All right, y'all. I think that's long enough here. No issues in these past few minutes. Let's rock and roll. Appreciate it.
Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am the American Anchor Baby. This is my show. Appreciate everybody tuning in. About to get going here. Should have a nice show. I'm a little throat. I can't hear myself in my ears, but I can see my audio is working fine. All is well. That's just some inside baseball, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get going here. We have a show. We have a show ahead. Gonna get into it here. I haven't even decided what I want to start with. What should I even open up with? So much to do. We'll be doing all that. And your calls, 888-775-3773. Great. Beautiful. Hey, Rumble. How you doing? What's up, Rumble? Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. The party's starting. What's up, Ohio Sentinel? TJ Hilliard. Always with the peace, love, and understanding. Thank you. Appreciate that. I got the Zelensky on. I wanted to get my Zelensky impression better. He had that speech. And it was so funny how he speaks. But I got the Zelensky on. I got the summer Zelensky on. This summer, we'll be taking all your taxpayer money. So, yeah, I got the fresh Zelensky on.
And
China.
I'm talking about this speech.
And even now, when Russia has undermined the Black Sea Grain Initiative, we are working to ensure food stability. And I hope that many of you will join us in these efforts.
I hope that many of you will join us in this effort. To stop the Russian invasion, the illegal Russian invasion. He kind of sounds like the yes, yes, yes girl. Do you kind of hear the drawl there? Do you kind of hear it a little bit? Anyways, what's up, y'all? What's up, Big and Light Until I Rise? Amazing. Appreciate that. What's up, Sugar Pancake Face? I got a super chat, in fact, I think already, from the lovely Sion, with a super chat with a little guy, little funny faces. We have funny faces. Oh, what did I do wrong here? Is it because I'm not showing Hyperdeck? There you go. I was wondering why I had a black screen behind me. That was user error, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Nick Zelensky ASMR. Nick with the quick impersonation. Yeah, I had to attune my ears there real quick. Worked on it live on air. The Russians. Can you tell I'm wasting time to figure out what's the first thing I want to do? What's the first thing we want to get into? Hey, Mario Baldo, thank you for the super chat. Says, hey, Nick, nice talking to you. Amigo, we will again. Always wishing you well, Mario Baldo. One of the OGs in the chat. Doing it up. Right on. Right on, Mario Baldo. Hope your physical therapy is going well. Tax me harder. All this Zelensky talk. All this Zelensky political talk, kind of tells me what we should get into first, really. Little face is what they're calling him. They're calling him the man with the little face. My hair's a little messy, so I may not totally look like Zelensky. You guys know I share the resemblance. So let's get Lil Nick on board. We got Lil Nick. We got Lil Nick on deck. Lil Nick, Lil Nick looking like Zelensky, no? Can y'all see it?
Leaks. Is there any sense to reduce nuclear weapons when Russia...
Nuclear weapons. Reduce. We must reduce. Why does he sound like a French Canadian? We must reduce all this mess. Having fun opening the show today. Haven't even gotten into anything. Doing our thing. Great shows today on the network. The Hake Report. Wow, Hassan, did you see it? Definitely want to catch it. If you didn't, you can watch his episode at Wow Hassan, youtube.com/@Walking on Water Hassan. It's a loosey-goosey, at least a loosey-goosey opening. Here, Frederick. What's up? We got Zelensky. Zelensky here asking for the help of the governments. But he doesn't know that the government's going to shut down. Doesn't he know the government's going to shut down? Yeah, I think this is what we're going to open up with. I think your host finally decided. Hey, Blackie Lawless with the super chat. Talk about black cops shooting their own coworkers, not a peep in media. Wait, what are you talking about? Blackie Lawless. I might talk about that. He sounds like Dexter's laboratory. Didi, get out of my laboratory. And Biden, give me your money. Okay. Speaking of Zelensky, there's this looming shutdown, right? you know about this government shutdown. You know, they have till September 30th, basically, to figure it out. You got till September 30th to figure it out, or the government shuts down. And there are radical factions, they calling them radical, far-right factions of the government who are ready to shut her down. Because they're not, because the government's not working, okay? The government's not working, and it seems we may have some representation in the Freedom Caucus or whatever. They're fighting for the border. They're fighting to take Ukraine funding out, or else we're shutting down, okay? Couple of things, couple of, you know, the main topics for the Republicans who are the holdouts in Congress. But you should feel bad, supporters of this shutdown. I know you want to fix the border. I know you want to say enough is enough with Ukraine. We don't want to walk into a world war, get ourselves entangled with this country. You know, there's fighting going on. There's literal fighting going on. And when it's a hot situation like that, accidents happen, escalations happen. And when you're all entangled like that, guess what? You're in the car too, buddy. Guess what? I know you weren't committing the crime. I know you weren't driving, but we found the pot under your seat and you're in the car. You know what I mean? So, all entangled up with Ukraine. And so I know that there's people, I know you want to get out of that. I know you want to fix the border. We're hemorrhaging. And people pouring in. People are not even being nice about it. Okay? They want the country different and they feel entitled. It's like, can you at least have a different attitude? But no. They are entitled to the free things of the country. So I know you want to fix all that. But Willi Jo. But don't you care about Willi Jo Price? Don't you know about Willi Jo Price? How could you not care about Willi Jo Price, who's been working at the cafeteria at the Library of Congress for 42 years? I know you want to fix all these things. I'm trying to also keep up with chat. You guys are saying so many interesting things. I want to comment on all of it. I wish I had infinite bandwidth, and I could be like Jim Carrey in a Bruce Almighty, and he was able to receive everyone's prayers in his mind. Not that you're praying. In the midst of all this, we just allowed Israel to enter visa-free. Oh, yeah, isn't there like a peace treaty they're going to sign today? They're saying the world is ending today. Willi Jo Price. Cafeteria lady, lunch lady, the lunch lady at the Library of Congress for 42 years who won't get a paycheck if the government shuts down. All right, y'all, let's watch.
You worry that you won't be able to pay your bills by the end of the month if Congress... You worry that you won't be able to pay your bills by the end of the month if Congress doesn't act?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I worry about that. A whole lot.
What is she doing?
I'm trying not to cry. I'm trying not to cry.
Price has worked at the Library of Congress cafeteria for decades, faced with yet another shutdown.
I've been up on this hill for 42 years. I've been there. Oh.
You worry that you won't be able to...
Willi Jo, life's hard. I get it. Okay? It's a little tough. Things are tough for you, Willi Jo. Okay? And I know you're on the news here, fighting tears, because it's going to be tough to pay your bills, Willi Jo. So you know what, Willi Jo? You know what, Willi Jo? Let's stop this. Let's stop all this mess, Willi Jo. Is it worth it, guys? Is it really worth it? Let's end all this. Let's go home. Let's go home. Of course, I'm being ridiculously sarcastic. And as you know, Willi Jo has been in this business for 42 years, okay? And as this person in the comments says very expertly, that she's worked there 40 years, meaning she's seen this same song and dance upwards of 60 times. Says this poignant 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 in the comments here. She's seen the same song and dance 60 times, okay? And so have many people. I mean, I don't really remember. I can't seem to remember any of them. I mean, I've only been here in this country. I've only been in this country a couple of years, but I also grew up. Anyways, maybe I'm not the best example. But I'm sure many more than Willi Jo have lived through the same song and dance, which is an apt description. Song and dance. Because it's what it is. Oh, we need a shutdown. We're not going to do it unless you give us this. But does anything really change? And the same people still keep getting paid. And here, let me show you a little bit of the song and dance. Imagine for a moment, you're a representative, a senator, or whatever. And the country is going to shut down September 30th. Unless you vote on some certain things. And you're shutting down, okay, let me do my work. Let me do my job for the American people, the American public. They chose me to represent them. Now let's do things in an orderly way, a process. Let's make sure we look over our P's and Q's here, dot our I's, whatever, cross our T's. Do it right. And look over everything presented to us so that we may, in an appropriate way, make laws and decisions for the people, right? And then, boom, on your table gets a smackdown 10,000 pages. The Consolidated Appropriations Act gets slapped down on your table, 700 pages. Let me see if I can show you a picture, an example someone posted. Imagine this. Ignore this top half. I don't even know what that is. But this giant book gets slapped down right over here. It gets slapped down on your desk. And you're like, all right, you got a few hours, and you got to read this, and you got to make a decision for the public, for the American people. The Consolidated Appropriations Act, 700 pages, et cetera, et cetera. That's a little taste of what's going on behind the scenes. Okay? Of how they make the laws for you, for the country. You see? And that's their MO. Being a light until I rise with this Rumble rant, thank you, says, I feel like Zelensky goes home to practice his accent in the mirror for show. It's definitely entertaining. These Russians. Okay. So where was I? Where was I? But they're fighting, right? They're fighting. They're duking it out to try and shut down the government. They don't want the Ukraine stuff. You got Marjorie out here yelling about that, and I appreciate that, Marjorie. Thank you, Marjorie, for representing us. I don't want this Ukraine stuff going on. I gotta agree with this. She's out here yelling about Ukraine, and it's like. Anybody still seeing talk about the border? I hope they're still talking about the border, right? I mean, I get it. Ukraine is important. But, yeah, do the border stuff now. September 30th, yesterday. But, okay, we got September 30th. That's the main thing, right? I appreciate it, Marjorie. I'm not I got my own life here, as we all do, so we may not be following as closely. I hope it's real. I'm trying to play this, but Elon Musk doesn't want the truth out.
On live.
Okay, we're here at the
protesting the Ukraine war, which no one in Washington, D.C. talks about a peace plan for Ukraine. It's only talked about sending an unlimited amount of American hard-earned U.S. tax dollars over to Ukraine while our border is invaded every single day.
Okay, she's talking about the border a little bit. But okay, I hope you guys didn't forget about it. I'm hearing a lot of talk about sticking it to them over this shutdown over Ukraine. But, let's stick it to them over immigration, okay? How about that? All right, y'all. Where were we? Government shutdown. Willi Jo Price. It's amazing how they parading this woman around on the media. Honestly. And it may be true. Her plight may be real and all that. But why? It's a kind of a pernicious way of focusing, a pernicious way of presenting these issues with the government shutdown. The government shutdown isn't about Willi Jo and making her go hungry or not be able to pay her bills. By the way, why aren't you handling your life better, Willi Jo? You seem to have a federal government job. I mean, life may be tough, but I don't know what your situation is, Mrs. Price, but listen. Handle your life a little bit better because we got to go through some pain. We got to go through some, maybe multiple Willi Joes, maybe many Willi Joes for this existential problem to be dealt with, okay? And I know she's got her hands shaking and the hand tapping of extreme worry.
Nope. I worry about that. A whole lot.
And I understand the hand taps. Very nervous, very, very nervous. But, two wrongs don't make a right, as they say, right? We can't deal with it. We got to deal with the issues. We got to deal with it. So, anyways, government shutdown. Important. Immigration, stuff that's being talked about as important things, right? Looming issues. And because it's important. Listen, country's changing a lot. Country's changing fast. And, Cernovich put out this interesting little thread here. Mike Cernovich, if you know who I'm talking about, he's been in the political game, in the political space for many years now, doing journalism, independent journalism, etc. And he has been in South Africa, okay? He's been to South Africa, and he put out a little thread on things he saw in South Africa I found very fascinating. Okay? And I want to show you. I want to show you these images and then show you a couple images from America. Let me see if I can. Can I even show you? I can. Look at this. This is a smash and grab hotspot. Okay? Cernovich shares this image of a warning to people in South Africa. What he writes is, writes about this post. He describes the post here. South Africa, smash and grab hotspot. I took this picture during a trip to South Africa. These signs would show up near the townships to warn unaware drivers. This was in 2015, but could be in an American city today. South Africans learn a different driving style than Americans. You keep your foot on the clutch at stops, not in neutral, relaxing. Manual transmissions are the norm outside of the U.S. Always leave a car distance between you. Be ready to bail within a moment's notice. It's just a different way of living, okay? It's a different lifestyle, your daily lives. Your daily lives. How much do you guys enjoy your daily lives? Huh? Sometimes cushy. You got your whatever. You confront your different, you got traffic or you get your different issues of daily life, but mainly cushy. Largely cushy, don't you think? It's a different life in South Africa. Police in South Africa, this was another one. It shocked me. Police in South Africa rape so many women they pull over that the government made a rule saying women don't have to stop for cops' cars. She could insist on driving to the nearby station for the traffic citation. Incredible, huh? I mean, I almost didn't believe it. I had to look it up. This is from firstforwomen.co.za. And also another report from News 24. Officers have a legal right to pull you over night or day, but you should know your rights, says News 24, trying to inform a certain demographic in South Africa. First for women. Advice on stopping for police late at night. Let's read this pamphlet here. Advice for women for stopping for police late at night. Not many South Africans would feel comfortable pulling over to the side of the road at night at the request of a car's flashing blue lights. So it seems to be common for South Africans. They just know this. And anyone who's been to other countries, especially more dangerous countries, know how locals talk about certain things. Yeah, no, you just don't do that. You just don't do that. Or you don't have to go to a different country, though. Let's be real. Go to different American cities. The locals will tell you, you just don't do certain things. You just don't get gas at 2 a.m. You just don't do certain things. Well, in South Africa, you just don't pull over for cops at night. Yes, I know it's a flashing blue lights and it looks like a cop, but it could be a problem. This pamphlet continues, at the same time, we know that ignoring instructions of a police officer is an offense. Where does that leave you, driving home alone at night with blue lights flashing in your rear mirror? Well, turns out, women in South Africa, you have rights, and you should know your rights. And this pamphlet's trying to inform y'all. Motorists are advised to study. The Road Traffic Management Corporation and Justice Project, the Blue Light Protocol, as it's called in South Africa. Motorists are advised to study this advisory carefully and commit the procedures to memory. If you follow the instructions to a T, there should be no reason for you to become endangered by either legitimate or bogus police. Because it could either be a legitimate cop who's crooked, or it could be a person, or it could be they're impersonators of police, okay? If you are followed by a police, stay calm. Slow right down and turn your hazard lights on. Extend your right arm out of the window. I'm going to do my left arm so you can see. Extend your right arm out of the window with a tightly outspread hand. Extend it into the air with your forearm at 90 degrees to your shoulder. Okay, make sure you extend those fingies. You want to extend those fingies. We don't want any problems, right? Gesture for them to follow you by moving your forearm forward and back to the upright. And repeat this action several times. Make sure they see your hand. Drive at no more than 40 kilometers an hour and proceed directly to the closest police station or public place with CCTV cameras in operation. Do not drive to your own or a friend's or your friend's home, as this may endanger you and your loved ones. It's a little taste of South African life, okay? A little taste of life in South Africa. Hey, what's up, Vlad? Bobby Blanco, Lady C-Cell, Blackie Law. What's up, everybody? Ivana, what's up, cuz? So, a little taste of life in South Africa, okay? And it fits thematically, okay? You got to understand that things weren't always like that in South Africa, right? It was a progression centered around almost. There's probably a deeper layer than this, honestly. It probably starts something with anger, okay? Hate. So, but it's centered around this racial thing, racial hatred. And with no one ever really standing up to this mentality, this philosophical, this ideological underpinning going on in South Africa, that white people are to blame and should pay for these evils of the past, okay? And that's happening here. You know this. You already know this. South Africa coming here. Jesse Lee Peterson's been trying to tell you, okay? And so you've seen these these recent riots in Philadelphia, right? You saw those things. You saw what happened there. They had mobs running around stealing stuff. Okay? You've seen some of these scenes. Wake up, did you fall asleep? We got crazy videos. Wake up, we got crazy videos. You should be, if you're at work, you should be more alert. And maybe not listening to this, but if you are, wake up. We got teens. Of course, you need the obligatory conservative, oh, that doesn't look like bread they're stealing. That is true, though. That isn't bread, though. I was laughing at that, but that's true. Hey, wait a second. That's true. That isn't bread. I think that's liquor. Is it 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 in the chat? I have a South African viewer. Very cool. Thank you. I've never seen that name before. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 says, I live in South Africa. All true. Anyways, you've seen the scenes. You've seen the scenes. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy. They're tracking the iPhones. There might be swearing. There might be swearing in this. My apologies. Listen, my apologies, but there might be swearing. But they were tracking the iPhones. You know, they looted the Apple stores, right? They looted the Apple stores. They got themselves the snazzy, fancy new iPhone 15. And apparently they started like ringing or something.
Now your son doing fine. You can shut it now. Keep your feet up. I'm about to run me some good now. Yo, what's that sound? What's that sound?
What's that sound?
That's the free. Oh shoot! Everybody throwing free iPhones. Let me see the iPhone. Oh my God! I want that. Oh my God!
I should have laughed at such wanton destruction.
They check the iPad too.
Quick, smash them.
Phones, bro. I gotta break it. That's what they track, bro.
Yo, y'all gotta break the. Here's an idea. Here's an idea. Here's an idea, young fellow. Drop them. I know you picked as easily as you picked them up. Now, I'm not here trying to tell criminals how to get away with crime, or it's just the first thing that came to mind, right? As easily as you pick them up, you can just as easily let them go and leave the scene. That's a funny moment. That was a humorous moment in the midst of all this, wanton destruction. It's really a shame. You got that woman out there live streaming the whole thing. I think Hake played the clip where, they're looting the store. She's like, everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Did he make the joke? It looks like she has eaten enough. Why do I feel like Hake and I would both make that joke? And I didn't hear him make it, but he might have made it. And I feel like he might have made it. And I would just be a plagiarist. I would just be biting his joke. But the thing is, I didn't hear him. But I feel like we would both make the same joke. It looks like you've been eating plenty. Okay, anyways. So, but why? Why are they out there? Why the heck are they even out there? Well, they were right. The news is saying these people out here rioting had nothing to do with the peaceful protests of this 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 person. And what happened with 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 is he was being stopped by police. And in this video, he's like driving like crazy. And he gets stopped. Police gets out of his car, and it happens in just a few seconds. The cop shoots this 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 person, who was apparently holding a knife, okay? And it happened so fast, many were saying this was basically a murder. This cop just got out of his car, it looked like that, at least to the layman, okay? And I want to show you this here. Little news report on Eddie Irizarry.
Thank you. We want to go out to Shayna right now. And Shayna, you caught up with Irizarry's family as they returned
The family
home.
of Eddie Irizarry.
A lot from his...
Right, and I spoke to them. Imagine they tell me
Let's
that
watch.
Following Tuesday's explosive dismissal of the charges against former Philadelphia police officer Mark Dial, the family of Eddie Irizarry returned to their North Philly home to comfort one another.
So yeah, that thanks to the news report there. In case you didn't know, I didn't quite tell you. But, right, they were out there rioting. Well, there was a protest, and the media is saying the riots have nothing to do with the peaceful protests. But there was a protest. To protest, they dropped all the charges in the officer involved in this shooting. Okay, so you're following.
After a whirlwind of a morning in court, as Irizarry's aunt says, they will march on, and their quest for justice is far from over.
We're going to continue to fight. We're going to appeal the case and continue to fight because, you know, like I said, he committed a crime and he needs to pay for the crime that he committed.
She's talking about this moment, the video played in court that shows Irizarry's final moments during an August traffic stop in Kensington. Police say the 27-year-old was driving erratically and drove down a one-way street before parking his car on East Willard Street. The video shows ex-officer Dial got out of his patrol vehicle and about 6 seconds later fired multiple shots into the car, killing Irizarry.
She murdered my nephew and evidence was there. All evidence was there. That goes to tell you, an officer can kill someone in Philadelphia and get away with murder.
So, you got the story there, Eddie Irizarry, and you saw the little snippet of the body cam footage. You don't need that much. You saw that, and the family is saying, no, we still need justice. We're going to appeal it because this was murder. This was murder. But when you get the details, Irizarry, and in an earlier footage, you see him driving crazy. I mean, you and I don't drive like that to require to be stopped by police. And then he had a knife. He apparently had a pocket knife beside him, was holding it, according to the report. And when told to hold up his hands, he held up the knife. You know, you can nitpick and say, well, he could have waited a little longer to identify the threat, blah, blah, blah. But that's not your life on the line. Could have been a gun, could have been a knife. And so you can have your disagreement. Maybe you still think something's wrong here. But no honest person can look at this and say this is murder. You can say something's wrong here, fine. Then you can fight for it, appeal it in court, blah, blah, blah. But when you're out here saying, no, this is murder, you're a dishonest person. You're evil. You're an evil person. You're an evil person. And you got people out here. This Brian Krasenstein, who's this like journalist guy. He's like a total liberal to me, making comments like this. And I know that a lot of people agree with this kind of commentary. He says, what happened in Philly last night at the Lululemon was wrong. Democrats know it was wrong. Republicans, independents know it was wrong. There were bad people doing bad things. This doesn't have to be politicized like I see so many people doing. Politicizing it ignores the root causes of such behavior. Bad, immoral people. And he's not wrong. I mean, that's the root cause here, yeah. A degeneration, a immorality of people. You're watching scenes of one group who actually got arrested by cops. But he's wrong. He's not wrong. Immoral people, a immoral, degenerate, demoralized society, willing to act like animals. So he's not wrong, but he goes on in the comments to talk about people blaming one group, okay? And this is where the conversation gets lost here, right? It gets lost into, well, are you blaming skin color or not? Are you racist or not? And that's not the point, okay? Because you get lost here trying to be not racist, I guess, like this Brian Krasenstein person. But you also get lost if you try and, make it about that. But how are you ever going to talk about the situation correctly if you can't say, well, look at who raised these people? Because it didn't just happen out of nowhere. We just got bad people. We just got bad people, and it's like, yeah, there's evil in the world. But we can see how some of these things kind of come about. And I'm not saying now we got to arrest. We should be arresting these mothers. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. But can we at least say it, right? Can we at least talk about it? Because, like, if you go along with this Brian Krassenstein, well, you can't politicize it. But then again, not only is the social thing going on there, which I mentioned, but there's a political element. There is, in fact, a very political element. Defund the police laws literally made, literal laws passed that have incentivized theft. No bails, no bail laws, no bail. And the whole $900 thing, steal under $900, it's not a big deal. I think misdemeanor or something like that. So it is, in fact, quite political at times. But where was I? It's like, yeah, it's not about blaming. It's just who raised these people. And it keeps happening. Arrest the grandmas. Yeah, maybe you're right. Incredible. But where was I? There's the family of Irizarry. So self-involved and caring about themselves. He's already dead, and they're out here trying to get a murder charge on an officer. And I'm not calling this guy a hero. He's a guy doing his job. But trying to put a murder charge on him. Their son's already dead. Out here doing what? Lying to try to get a murder charge on this guy. Which, in my opinion, is just a way of absolving yourself of responsibility. I see these mothers, whenever their sons get killed by cops, and it's never ever just, wow, this truly was an accident. This truly was, like, maybe, I can't remember a single one, but maybe. But it's never like, this is an upstanding or just a regular guy and you got murdered by cops. You got literally murdered by cops. It's never that. It's he's driving erratically. He's running from the cops. He's armed and shooting. He's armed if not outrightly pointing the gun and shooting at officers. And what are these mothers? They'll get on TV. They go on and be like, my baby, he was so nice. He was so good. They didn't have to do him like that. I think it's all a way of absolving self-responsibility. And then we get the emotional feel bad for mama world because they were all raised by these mothers. And it's not just blacks. We're all raised by these, even households with two parents we're raised by these mothers where we feel bad for them. We get emotional about mama. And so the society who feels bad for mama looks at these mothers and goes and justifies it and sweeps it under the rug and says, yeah, when we all know she raised them. She raised them. Oh, but it was the cops. No, it was you, lady. And they're older at this point. I know the sons might be older, and it's at that point their responsibility to overcome. But we got the mamas out here playing the blame game. Okay? So Eddie Irizarry, people out here rioting. Mess. What a mess. You guys following? Wanderlust City with the super chat says, send them to working camps and show them on TV. Nice. Nice. Some slavery might do him good. I should be enslaved. No, for real. I should be enslaved. Like, you guys think I'm so smart and all that. And I say smart things, and it seems like I understand things. I may have a high IQ or something. That doesn't mean anything. I need to be enslaved. I need a slave master. The other day, I didn't even replenish the sparkling waters. There was sparkling waters. I asked for one, and I'm like, I'm going to replenish it. And I didn't replenish it. I drank two. And I took advantage of my roommate's generosity. I have now since replenished it, but I sure took my time. I need a slave master. Because no amount of internal correction is fixing that. As so far, it hasn't. Okay. Anyways, I'm having fun with the show. I'm having fun. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about next. You know, you seen this? I mean, it fits what everything we're talking about here, sort of. The degeneration of the people in America going inside out. We're importing the degeneration. We got our own families degenerated. And they said, they promised they would hire only people of color. Turns out they actually did. Bloomberg.com. They actually did. They weren't playing. Corporate America promised to hire a lot more people of color. It actually did. Let's pick straws for who's going to own it, Nick. You guys think I'm joking, but it's pretty egregious what I did. It's pretty far. It's pretty... Nick will do his due diligence when he picks a slave master. I'm immoral. What a mess. Okay, let's not get lost here. Already kind of I got topics. I just haven't decided how it was going to flow, and I'm just freestyling, but the topics are fleshed out. But they said they were only going to hire people of color. The year after Black Lives Matter protests, the S&P 100 added more than 300,000 jobs. 94% went to people of color. And you know that's not because they deserve the job. Like, this is major. This is major. I just showed you Cernovich in South Africa. How do you think we get there? How do you think that happens? The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission requires companies with 100 or more employees to report their workforce demographics every year. Every year. We have literal diversity Gestapo. In total, they increased their U.S. workforces by 323,194 people. 323,094 people in 2021, the first year after the Black Lives Matter protests. Look at this. Look at this. 94% of people of color. Like, it's not out of a natural, like, that's the whole thing here. It's definitely nothing grassroots and natural about it. You guys still talking about, Nick, you can be my... You guys still talk about me being a slave. I'm telling you guys, I might need to be a slave. People of color make up a minority. Anyways, look. This is just to add to the South Africa report here, okay? Just to really add to it, give you a taste of what's coming. You know what I'm saying? What kind of person lets their children be trafficked in such a manner? You know, talking about mothers, right? What kind of mother? But Nick, she's a mom who's here, who sacrificed everything to give her daughter a better life.
Annie here is 2 years old.
Is this why they're cutting the razor wire at the border now? Because they're feeling bad for the mamas?
And it's going on. And it seems like she got her hands stuck.
For those listening, I'm showing images, scenes at the border, razor wire border being circumvented with looks like help from Border Patrol by using cardboard to crawl under the sharp razor wire. And she's holding a little girl.
Toma. Ven, Liani, ven. Cateando, Liani, ven. Álzale, álzale el cartón para que ya
They're trying to tell the baby girl to crawl.
Álzale, álzale el cartón. Dale, mi hija. Ven, dale, dale, dale.
Nick would be a house glizza. Duh. I'm a smart slave. I'd be a high IQ slave. See, IQ doesn't everything. I'm a smart individual, but I got... This is a funny little bit that I came up with about being a slave, but it's a little bit, it hits a little closer to home than you guys realize, okay? I'm out here not replenishing sodas. I'm out here, I don't know. I put my shopping cart back, but I don't know. We don't need it. We're getting distracted, though. We're talking about these slaves. Well, not slaves. They're migrants. They're soon to be full-fledged U.S. citizens. They're telling her, Ben, you could crawl her to the water. Crawl for your life. She doesn't even have the gusto to live. And she doesn't even have the will to live. She's ready to die under that razor wire. I don't know, y'all. This is not the kind of stock we need. Where you don't even have the will to crawl for your life, little crying Mexican child. Have some more toughness.
Little girl here. And she got her sweatpants tucked. It seems like the little girl's they're gonna pull her in right now. They got her. Apúrate con la...
Apúrate.
Apúrate.
Oh, that's not Border Patrol. That's just like a journalist or something. Or something or other. It's a journalist. Look, y'all. They're letting them in. Okay. Feeling bad. Ven aquí. Beta baby. Yeah. And then have the baby walk over hot coals afterwards to that's the test. That's the trials and tribulations you got to go through to get in here. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Sorry, little child. Child abuse. So I totally agree, Renee. They say it's such a nice it's supposed to be such a harrowing story of bravery, but it really isn't. It really isn't. Okay? It really isn't, okay? You got to understand some of the stuff that happens on the way here. On the way here. These people are faced with, look, I even have some personal, I want to say, not experience. What's the word I'm looking for? Connection to what I'm about to say. Like, as in, like, basically, I kind of maybe someone knows sort of someone like this. Not naming anyone. Nobody really close. Not important to look into. But I'm talking about getting raped, getting robbed, all sorts of stuff happening to these people on the way here. And they're met with law enforcement of the countries they're going through. And the law enforcement in those countries, like I was describing, like the law enforcement in South Africa, they're corrupt. Deeply, deeply corrupt. And you got to grease the wheels to go through. And these coyotes, you know about coyotes, right? These are members of the cartel who are experts in smuggling humans. And they know the routes to take them through. And part of this is not just knowing the routes, it's knowing what corrupt officials to go through. Which you got your route. Your route is facilitated by people affiliated, not necessarily cartel, but law enforcement, border patrol, customs, officials, immigration of these countries all the way through. And sometimes greasing the wheels is not always just money. Sometimes it's dirtier, more sordid things, okay? These things happen. So it is abuse. It's complete child abuse. It's complete child abuse. When what you face in your country is what? The same things you'd face around the world. Yes, it's less in America because it's built better. But life is a risk. And, you know what I mean? So you'll be facing poverty and danger in your country. And it's just life, okay? Anyways, look, you guys are following me, right? Anyways, what else did I want to say about this? Multiculturalism has failed. At least this Home Secretary Suella Braverman. Huh? She looks like an anchor baby. Talk about multiculturalism.
And a misguided dogma of multiculturalism have proven a toxic combination for Europe over the last few decades. I'm not the first to point this out. In 2010, Angela Merkel gave a speech in which she acknowledged that multiculturalism had utterly...
Wait, in 2010, Angela Merkel said multiculturalism had failed? You're talking about the globalist EU people? Angela Merkel. Isn't she German, former politician, scientist, Chancellor of Germany? Angela. Wasn't she also like the UN or European Union? Angela Merkel. Leader of the... Anyways, the point is, these globalist Europeans were saying multiculturalism failed? Huh.
Failed. And then French President Nicolas Sarkozy and British Prime Minister David Cameron echoed similar sentiments shortly thereafter.
Wow. 2010, that was it was a while ago, huh? 13 years ago? Wow. That was before Trump. And then the world, and then things changed. That was before Trump. Didn't Trump suggest putting alligators or sharks in moats around the border? That's awesome. He did? I mean, you probably only need one. You probably only need one. You know how those crocodiles, they'll grab onto a limb and then they'll spin? They'll do that spin move and just rip a limb off. Like it's coming off. An alligator gets you in its chompers and starts doing that death roll, something's coming off of you. Straight up. Honestly, that has to happen once. And that has to happen once. And things might change a little bit. But you know the American government is going to send in a squad and mow down the alligators to protect the incoming invaders. Evil is still real with the Rumble rant. Thank you. Says, enslaving African blacks was a horrible idea. We should have just hunted them. Wow. I forget if you're a Christian. Evil is still real. I always appreciate your support and your calls. But I don't even disavow that as a joke or anything. That's just wrong. I don't know if you're trying to be funny or something. You know, the thing about blacks and whites in America, there's all these Hispanics and all these other, and this caucus and that caucus for this group and that group. And honestly, it's tiresome. It should all end. But if there's one group, I've said this before, but if there's one group that I think, and I'm not saying you shouldn't move away. I'm not saying you shouldn't pay attention and watch your surroundings and protect yourself. And I'm not saying you shouldn't say the truth. But if there's one group I think white Americans shouldn't give up on, it's like the blacks. And I'm not saying there isn't going to be a time where you have to give up and go your separate ways, but I feel like the story of America, and it may be too late for this, I admit this, but somewhere along the way, it was supposed to be like, I've heard stories of how blacks and whites, they were starting to come together, and yeah, it was segregated as like all nations used to be, right? Like, and still are, by the way, like, you know, de facto, they'll say diversity and all that, but everybody sticks to their own. They have their own neighborhoods. That's how life has been for the history of all nations, when nations were diverse and when nations weren't. But that being said, it feels like somewhere along the way, it really looked like American blacks and American whites were in many cases, living not integrated, but living peacefully and near each other and doing things together just fine. And that relationship was getting better, is what I'm trying to describe here in a very inaccurate, bumbling way. So if there's a group, that, it might be too late, but in my heart, it is this little idealistic person that's talking right now. I don't know what I'm saying, but in my heart, there seems to be like that was what the story was supposed to be for American blacks and whites. And as to be almost an example. And the exact details of how that was supposed to be, I don't know. I mean, it could still be segregated if you want to use that word, but with the right values, Christians, with some love and understanding, at least a little bit, right? So that's kind of how I feel about the blacks and whites. I know evil is still real. I know what you're saying. But anyways. And I don't know about the hunting part. What the? I don't know if you're playing, bro. Okay. I swear you're a Christian, right? Anyways. Where were we? Loosey Goosey Wednesday, enjoying it. I'm having fun. I hope you are as well. You know, because we're talking about this, it still thematically fits. England, Angela Merkel, Europe, South Africa, changing demographics in America, the blacks. Let me show you, as we're seeing South Africa today in its very advanced stage of hatred, let's call it what it is, causing the issues that are happening in over there today. We're seeing scenes in America and the breakdown between the races and really, honestly, being used as pawns turned against each other by wickedness, wicked forces, both spiritual and physical, influenced by the spiritual. All that's happening, right? You got the two areas and the scale in between. Let me show you an intermediary nation. If not a little bit more advanced to the South Africa side, I'm talking about England. I'm talking about the UK. That storied, deep European nation that brought us the modern world we live in today, really. Colonized so much of the earth. London. I'm talking about London. Let me show you an intermediary nation. Really, I don't even know if we can call this intermediary. But, you know, they've let in all sorts of people in South Africa. I mean, in England. But not only is it just the letting in of all these foreign people, but it's the allowing in of hatred into their hearts, into their families, into their politics. Really, all these immigrants is just like the final cherry on top, the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because there's been immigration in America for a long time. It wasn't always like this, right? They had clear stipulations at one point. White, Christian, European, of a certain education. But there was quite a bit of it. 1800s, in the millions. So, but to say what? To say that it's a multifaceted problem here, right? That starts with the individual, the soul, the spirit of the nation. Okay? Okay, England, second highest Pakistani population. Talking a little bit about the police and the attitudes people have about the police around the world and how they act. Well, here's England. It seems like they have no authority there. Especially if you're in certain areas where you're outnumbered, I guess, huh? Just kicking them. Get out of here. This is our neighborhood. This is our city police. Get out. Oi. Now this is not the Bradford of me father. I don't know what accent that was. But that's definitely not the Bradford, England of yesteryear. I don't think so. I sure don't think so. And the attitude, it's the attitude too. It's the attitude of the people coming and then the attitude of the leaders who are okay with the whole thing. Is this still intermediary? Let me show you how the migrants over there in England get treated. Because they got programs where you can get housing. But let's say you don't like it. Let's say you just simply don't like the house they offered you, the free house they offered you. Well, you'd be like, I don't like it. I want a different free house. This is the story of 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 and her family and how they've turned down 10 different properties. And in this video, they turned down another one because it doesn't have parking. It just doesn't have parking. Mind you, these are free properties on taxpayer dime for these immigrants coming into England.
Sitting room, living room. So what we've done, we've gifted the gas hob, and the grill and the cooker is electric.
Really nice. I like it.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, you like it.
Nice,
yeah. And it's spacious as well, isn't it?
Yeah, space. Yeah. Very nice. I really like the house, but one problem. Okay. The problem is for car free. I know it is car free before.
Where's the pool? Next.
But I did wrote a letter to mayor. Can you, give me a permission for I can have one parking place?
Yeah. So the mayor will then have to contact the council, and the thing is, council has told everybody else here no. I mean, the thing is, if they refused and said no, you can't have parking, you're going to refuse the house.
Yes.
Wow. I want a council house too.
What they have to understand, it makes no difference to me whether they take it or not. I just get another nomination and show somebody else who is more than happy to take it.
Right, it doesn't make your job any different, but they're just going to keep going, like she just said, and just do another letter to the mayor or whatever. And get hers, you got to get yours, right? So that's the intermediary stage. Can we even say that's intermediary? I mean, it's pretty much the same attitudes here. We just don't have the quirky little videos with the music to demonstrate it, huh? What a mess, huh? So what a mess, what a mess, what a mess. So that's what's going on there. It's kind of what I was thinking about today. A little bit I wanted to show you. But all that, we could just scrap all that. We could just scrap everything I just talked about because Willi Jo Price is really worried. Is this rude? Is this mean? Am I being mean? Am I just being am I being a flippant youngin for content? Because she's worried, y'all. Okay. Let's move on. Let's switch gears here. What do I want to show you? I mean, I guess you saw this on the Hake Report. These Seattle sycophants. Was it Seattle? Yeah, Seattle. These sycophants in Seattle. Talking about Fox News went down there doing these man on the street interviews. And they're all just denying everything. Saying, I don't see any crime. I mean, I'm talking about it. I might as well show you. I don't see any crime, do you?
Jesse sent Johnny to the progressive hellscape where residents mocked the idea that the city is spiraling out of control.
I've never seen any crime in Seattle. I've never seen any of it. I've seen fun and laughter and fun.
I don't believe that number.
People, they're, getting robbed out here, carjacked.
I've never heard of anyone getting robbed.
Crime is a social issue that could be solved by giving people their basic needs.
That's the most honest one so far. Everyone else is just lying. Like, I don't know, aren't you okay? You're fine, right?
It's not a thing that happens just on the street. People don't just come up and try to rob people on the street.
Nothing affecting you. I don't believe the numbers, blah, blah, blah. Let me close my eyes and plug my ears. This is the only honest one. This lady was the only honest one saying how these other people really feel. That, well, it's actually racism, yo. So I don't even want to talk about it with you, dirty news person who's probably Fox, because it's racism. That's why this is happening. So let's fix that. I don't care about your crime reporting because us white people caused this.
Crime is a social issue that could be solved by giving people their basic needs.
It's not.
So there you go. The only honest one there. She's going to continue with her drivel talking about, I don't see anything.
A thing that happened.
You dirty bigot. What do you see? Because I don't see anything. What do you see? Huh? That'll tell us everything we need to know about you if you tell us what you see. But I, this gray-haired, curly individual of Seattle, don't see anything.
happens just on the street. People don't just come up and try to rob people on the street. Do you walk around every day like someone's gonna rob me every second?
Seattle decriminalized drug use, and then they criminalized it again.
Oh my God, who are you getting these facts from? You're from New York. Apparently you're listening to the wrong people.
I saw a lot of people shooting up on my way down here.
Oh, did you? Okay. And they were bothering you?
I was in a car, but, you know, people...
Oh, no, you're in a car. Oh, no, they were hurting you so bad. Oh, no.
Wow. I mean, what do you say? What do you even say? We could talk about all the immigration and crime, black crime, and this or whatever. Well, you can't even say anything when you were faced with that. You're like, oh, okay, I thought we cared. That's all you could do. You'd be like, this is what you should do. Let's say you're a person who gets really incensed by these topics. Maybe you're me. I don't really get incensed by these topics, okay? I'm trying to bring a show to you guys, but I do care. Like, I do find these all interesting. I mean everything I'm saying, but we shouldn't get all into it, right? Because I'd be out here yelling about what? What am I really changing? But let's say you're me, and you're incensed by these topics, and so you go outside and you start yelling. You're like, nope, this is wrong. Look at these homeless people. Look at this. Look at him. He's shooting up. He's shooting up drugs. And then you're faced with this, and you're like, black crime, nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to say it, but I'll say it. Black crime, and nobody wants to say it. Immigration, look, nobody wants to say it, but look, these people, S-hole countries, turning our place into an S-hole place. And you're yelling, and then you're faced with this woman. Your neighbor comes out of the house, and it's this woman, and she tells you this. You just put your hands up, you go, oh, my bad. I thought we cared. Oh, okay. Oh, my bad. Never mind. I thought I was talking to sane people who... Oh, okay, gotcha. Sink is shipping. The ship is sinking. And we're fine. Oh, we're fine with it. Okay, my bad. Thought we were panicking. I thought we were... All right, take care. See ya on the other side, I guess. That's what you do. Jeez. Shall we move? Shall we switch gears here? I got a different thing here going on. You should go out there and do that, Nick, and stream that. That's a good idea. Man on the street. We should get it popping, do some real things on this channel, huh? Get some real shows going. We got a nice show for Friday. Don't miss it. Nice flight. Nice Saturday show. I'm teasing it early. We're going to do a Saturday show. Don't miss it. Should be fun. I want to do an all-day thing. Okay. What are you guys saying in the chat before I move on here? Sweet home Seattle. I have plenty of security cam footage. Ooh. Just seems like a crazier and crazier place. Amazing. Okay. So check this out. They're calling out the dads. Dads are getting they're getting joshed on. They're getting trolled on the internet. Dads are in the crosshairs. Is this what I want to do? Yeah, this is what I want to do. Yep, dads are in the crosshairs. Okay. And it's due to a recent post on X.com with a nice sizable audience and sizable amount of views on this post by an individual we've talked about. I believe she's not an anchor baby from Canada, Lauren Southern. Nice conservative gal, right? Nice, very conservative gal who's been on the conservative right in the political space, doing commentary, making hard-hitting videos, hard-hitting commentary, documentaries about the whites in South Africa and the farmers. Just doing work, okay? Putting in work. I believe. Then got like pregnant and was like outie for a while. And I mean, great, right? Just wishing you well in your life and putting in work to save the world and making babies, right? You do your thing. I still don't have any issue with Lauren. I believe she came back. There was some talk about some mess about divorces or whatever. I honestly forget. I forget if I even mentioned it. I don't remember talking about it. I might have mentioned it because I feel like there was a point. Not important now. Lauren Southern put out this tweet, okay? This tweet and she was commenting on this video. And it's a man on the street interview. It's a video, and it's someone doing a man on the street interview. And it's dads. And the dads here are being asked some tough questions by the interviewer. Like, what's your son's birthday? What's your kid's favorite color? And the dads are just out of their element. They're just, oh no, I'm on camera. I hate my kid, and I'm on camera hating my kid. At least that's what some people think they're doing. At least that's what some people think about him. Lauren Southern shared this video basically trying to describe a cognitive dissonance she sees amongst the right, the conservatives, okay? She tweets this video, and I'll show it to you in a moment, and she writes, "Not a single account I see religiously sharing the dumb 19-year-old out clubbing says she wants a guy who earns 7 figures videos has shared this clip. Both men and women's content is being curated beyond belief to satiate rage at the other gender. It's making people delulu." I think she meant delusional. Delulu. That might be a cute way of saying delusional. So she's trying to describe a dissonance amongst the right, because she's saying, at the same time as she's seeing all these conservatives share videos of these dumb 19-year-olds out at a club saying, "I want a man who earns 7 figures. I deserve everything." She's seeing all the accounts who normally share those kinds of videos not sharing this video. And I'm here left wondering, what does she mean by this? Let's watch the video she's commenting about. Let's watch this video, because what did Lauren Southern mean by this?
Yeah. What is your son?
Hold on, let's watch.
Yeah. What is your son's birthday?
No, that's a good one. That's a really good one, because I don't know.
Bad dad alert.
I don't know his birthday.
Do you consider you guys pretty close?
Yeah.
What is your daughter's favorite subject in school?
Social study.
Is that true?
No.
What grade is your daughter going into?
9th grade.
What's the name of your daughter's school?
Oh, do you see?
Ash Creek Elementary School.
No.
Bad Asian dad.
No.
Bad Asian dad. Don't you know you're gonna raise a criminal? Don't you know you're gonna raise a criminal by being a bad dad?
Something.
Future criminal.
Creek.
No.
What color are your daughter's eyes?
Brown.
It's her eyes, man.
All right, let's look. That is
Let's
incorrect.
just look.
They're blue.
That is, her eyes are not brown. They're blue, my dude. Are you even awake?
I have a brown-eyed.
You need better. He says I have a brown-eyed daughter, though. I do have a brown-eyed daughter, though.
They're blue. I have a brown-eyed daughter, though.
What is your daughter's birthday?
It's not this one, but it's one of them. One of them's a brown-eyed daughter, I swear.
May 17th. Oh, no, it's the 14th, and I don't know what year.
Can you name your daughter's teacher?
Mrs. Jones.
Nope.
Mrs. Moore. It's not Moore?
No.
I swear it's more.
That was my elementary school teacher.
Yeah, Dad, that was 10 years ago.
Can you name their teachers?
Of course I cannot.
What are your daughter's birthdays?
Why do you do this to me?
What about her?
I give up.
Any guesses?
Yesterday.
Oh, yeah, yesterday.
That's me. That's me.
Her birthday was yesterday.
That's me with the 3 daughters and saying and forgetting it was yesterday. I am joking around, but can I just do this on the air? I cancel those words in the name of Jesus Christ about the 3 daughters. Look, my core viewers know what I'm doing when I say that. My core viewers know what I'm doing when I cancel those words. So it's all fun and games, but I cancel those words.
Yesterday,
Just
you forgot
yesterday,
it.
yes.
Can you name the best friend?
This is
of
mom.
each of
This
your
is mom.
daughters?
Mari Carmen Rojas,
Oh.
Jimena Lopez, Adamari Lopez, Cristina Cornejo.
Good.
Oh,
Can you
dang.
give us the name of their doctor?
Looking bad, Dad.
Okay. Can you give us the name of their dentist?
Games Dental Land.
What are your daughter's birthdays?
Yes, May 28, 2009, August 8, 2013, February 24.
Dang. Basically, one hoop and a holler away from being a deadbeat dad. Am I right? Lauren Southern believes this is her totally docks those kids on camera. That's a mama thing to remember B-Days, says Hake. Thank you. Someone is making some sense to me in my chat. Someone's actually making some sense. I thought I was a horrible person for that. I didn't know men were like that. I thought I was a horrible person. I've never cared about birthdays. I've never cared about them. I still to this day can't remember. Honestly, it's probably choose not to, but it's more like I choose not to try to remember. I never remember birthdays, people, important dates, and it's been like that forever, since as far as I can remember. As far as I can remember, I've always been like that. I just called my sister the other day. Just the other day. She's like, oh, wow, oh my God, Nikki, it's my birthday. I'm like, oh, I just got a wild hair. Nice, happy birthday. And I wish them well. I think it's a nice thing, and I like to enjoy. I'm happy by my own. I'm happy with people. I don't care. But, hey, let's celebrate, huh? Happy birthday. I love it. Right? But what, like Kurt Vonnegut once said, I can't think of a more useless piece of information to tell someone that today was the day you were born. I can't think of a more useless piece of information. And so I thought I was a bad person for a long time, too. I thought I was a bad person because I'm not the type of person to text either. I'm not the type of person to, hey, haven't thought about you in a while. Not to say I haven't done that, though. Satan, hey, not to say I've never done that. Satan has put that thought in my mind and been like, hey, why don't you text this person? Never really turned out right. Been there, done that. But I'm just saying, not the type of person to text. Hey, I've had people reach out. They're like, hey, you never text. I just feel like I've had people break up with me, both male and female. Okay, hold on. That might sound weird. I mean, the females breaking up with me because they were actual girlfriends, and the males, that's a joke. We weren't dating. They were just friends. But I remember there was one friend who told me he didn't want to be my friend anymore. And so I said, you're breaking up with me? Anyways, look, I thought I was a bad person. It's funny to see this. We're not bad guys, okay? We are like breathable air technology in the chat says. Dads are too busy with stupid stuff like, paying for food and, making sure there's a roof over people's heads and, just whatever. Just, stuff like that. Gay, says Harmony. Where was I? Lauren Southern, what does she mean by this? Wait, what does she mean by this? She's saying, how come these alpha dudes, okay, whatever, these guys are sharing all these, they're so quick to share these 19-year-old airheads, but they won't share this clip. What is she trying to say here? Is she trying to say that fathers are important? Okay. True. Very true. But this is kind of like a misplaced, you're really trying to stretch it here. It's kind of showing your lack of understanding on what manhood is. Because it's this, what you're saying, these men, what you're implying these men should be doing is what mothers do, like Hake said in the chat. That's a mama thing. That's a female thing. That's a female thing. So you're asking, you're acknowledging the lack of what it seems to be, if I'm reading between the lines, acknowledging that the lack of manhood is a great danger in the world. But then you're going around and you turn around and said, and are telling these men to be women. I don't know if you even realize what you're doing, Lauren Southern. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know, and that's fun. I understand that. But men don't really focus on those things. What a silly thing to even care about. I can't think of a more useless piece of information than to tell people, Nick, what WTF, man? It was a joke. Mind blasting. You guys want to see the tweet? Someone said, show us the tweet. Oh, okay. Mind blasting This is Lauren Southern. Not a single account I see religiously sharing the dumb 19-year-old out clubbing says she wants the guy who owns 7 figures videos has shared this clip. Both men and women's content is being curated beyond belief to satiate rage at the other gender. I think that's true. We're in our little echo chambers. But you just joined the feminist echo chamber, Lauren Southern, and you don't even realize you did that. And you're just finger wagging at men and saying, be better. These dads are probably the best. They may be weak. Who knows? I mean, I see a lot of daughters. You know about daughters. And this mother, now the implication is she's such a good parent. She's such a good mom. I know Mari Carmen Rojas, Cantonita Maldonado Rojas, and I know the doctor and I know the dates. Meanwhile, beneath the calm waters is the rage of a mother. Mom rage. You know about mom rage? Apparently, it's the most common thing in the world. Mom rage. Did you know about mom rage? Did you see today's Manhood Hour episode? I mean, Manhood Hour intro on the JLP show. Mom rage is
one of the most challenging.
One of the most challenging, but also the most common things. This therapist runs into.
One of the most challenging feelings that you probably have as a mom is rage and anger and that intense frustration that literally happens to every mom that I've ever spoken to be honest. So whenever I talk about rage or ragey, feeling ragey, moms always tell me how much they relate to that and they appreciate me talking about it. So today I'm here to explain a little bit more about why you're probably feeling.
So she's saying not only is it, she's like, to be honest, every mother I know has gone through that. And also when I talk about rage and being ragey, she kind of softens it a little bit there. You know, when I talk about, feeling ragey feelings, a lot of mothers relate to that. And that's just being honest. I bet you a lot of mothers relate to that. And we can have some understanding on how anger is. But it happens. Let's not. I feel like the problem is more people are unaware than a lack of understanding. Because we can all understand that, right? Being rage. And I bet you parents out there can understand that. But you should have an examination of yourself because that's not normal. Lauren has a point. Yeah, Kevin Howe, that's why I was saying about the content being curated for rage, for clicks, for engagement, to get people going. I mean, engagement is literally the game. You get more people going, you get more money. That's literally the game on Twitter, which is fine. I appreciate that. So, just so you're aware, though, getting clicks gets you money. So, a little bit delusional, though. And look, there's a saga going on right now with Pearl. You know Pearl Davis? She was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show on The Fallen State. Nice girl. Very interesting talks with Jesse. Seems to have left a seed, struck a chord with Pearl, especially lately. But I think she does fine work. It seems to me, though, I don't follow her or anything. It seems to me like lately she's been getting into it with all sorts of conservatives online. Matt Walsh was one recently. Matt Walsh. And they're talking about marriage and simping. And Pearl has basically been going hard on the simps, calling it out, saying, you guys are a bunch of simps. She recently went viral because she made a comment about how a woman that's 25 is just objectively more attractive than a 35-year-old woman. And it really did seem like the simps came out of the woodwork saying, no, look at this picture of this 35-year-old woman. You're going to tell me she's not sexy? Or this or that. There's this or that conservative guy coming out saying, this is a picture of my 35-year-old wife. And this is a picture of Pearl. Look at how ugly she is. And she's younger than my wife. Look at my bombshell of a wife. Honestly, kind of proving her point a little bit. Simps. Like, she wasn't saying that 35-year-old women can't be good looking or something. It's just, the reality of youth. Hey, ladies, maybe don't be so into your looks. It's a fleeting thing anyways. So kind of proving Pearl's point there. There's been a bit of a saga going on. And what I've noticed, it's women. This so-called conservative women against Pearl conservative, and this conservative woman, they're all just yelling at each other, just meow. Are we getting anywhere? Wait a second. Did they just women up the whole thing? Did they just women it up and feminize it and make it about fighting instead of about the truth and about what matters? Lauren Southern, too, a little bit here. Yeah, too much estrogen. Look, I like it, y'all. Lauren, Pearl, I love y'all. You guys are doing great work. In terms of the word great and how you measure things, you'll be doing greater works than I. I don't know. I mean, in terms of, like, you guys are reaching a lot of people, getting the conversation going. It's a great thing. It's awesome in the truest sense of the word. Great work y'all are doing. Wishing you well. But too much estrogen, I think. Pearl talking about men leading. Let the men take the lead here, huh? How about it, Pearl? I know you'll agree with me, right? But she makes some good points. She's got a lot of people like they're all rustled their feathers, and I sure do like it, because are you really a conservative if you can get your feathers rustled, especially if you're a man? If you can get your feathers, you believe in repealing the 19th, and you believe in all these cool political things, but if you can get your feathers rustled, if you have buttons that can be pushed, are you really a conservative? Are you really a man? Ooh, interesting stuff. Okay. Pearl, I feel like I wanted to go in a little bit more on the saga with Pearl, but it really isn't that interesting. I just kind of wanted to sort of touch on it, because there's like the politics, and then there's the spirit of things. And even in the conservative space with these women, saying some true things, the order can be messed up there too. And a conservative woman can, in a moment, really be a feminist. Very interesting. Very interesting. It really is spiritual. Do you guys see what I'm seeing? It doesn't matter about getting the facts straight. You got to get the heart straight. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Okay. Pearl is kind of man-looking, but she's nice. Dang, Ivana. I like Pearl. She's strong. She's fast. Strong. I done tussle with a whale. I beat lightning and I threw thunder in jail. I'm fast. Okay. Shall we move on? In this same vein of marriage and relationships, blah, 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 I'd like to turn from these ladies and put the spotlight on a man or a male individual now. A man who had much responsibility thrust upon him as mayor of New York City. A once mayor of New York City, now being led by Eric Adams. Bill DeBlasio, you know this name. Bill DeBlasio, mayor of New York, married to Shirlane McRae. Are they still married? And he was, leading New NYC, the Big Apple, through one of its toughest times, COVID, Black Lives Matter riots. And you remember DeBlasio, him eating those fries in front of the camera, telling New Yorkers, go get vaccinated. You'll get some free fries. Kind of a little, a little weird. A little weird. You saw him praising the Black Lives Matter protesters, basically saying, yeah, there's a virus, but we can suspend the virus for the protesters because they're out there on the right side of history. And then there was some recent talk. And then there's the saga with him and his wife, Shirlane McRae. He married that black woman and together they raised some children. Two of them, in fact, Quiara and Dante DeBlasio. You remember Quiara DeBlasio from the headlines of her, what was it, arrests? Yes, arrests for partaking in the activities. They're calling it activities. They're calling it peaceful activities. Qiara de Blasio, lovely mixed daughter of Bill de Blasio, who was once a nice young girl, like all like girly, but then I guess went to school, went to university, became radicalized, and I would say not really just became like her parents, her mother. Her mother speaks the way she does about these things. It's just that every generation gets worse. Goes to university, becomes radical, gets short hair, starts painting, starts getting all the Antifa look, and she was arrested by police and everything for partaking in whatever activity with the BLM stuff. So there's that saga. 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍� and her marriage with Bill de Blasio, which many of us pretty much basically gave him the beta rating in his marriage. Yes, maybe some of us are judging, and we should reflect on our own lives before going around doling out beta grades as we grade people's marriages atop our cushy internet chairs. But then there was the saga continued, and it came out that basically Bill de Blasio, 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, they wanted to separate. And what was their reasoning? Because they wanted to have fun. That was literally their reasoning. We want to have sex with other people. That's basically what we can this amounts to, right? We want to see other people. They were missing excitement. It was really whatever. And you might think, well, why do we care about this, Nick? Because there's an update with DeBlasio and his love life. Why do we care about DeBlasio's love life, though? You'll be interested, because we're not that different from the government. We are not different. Jesse Lee Peterson has been saying this. I'm about to demonstrate this for you. New York Post with the headline here: Horn Dog de Blasio. I almost feel like I should censor that. Horn Dog de Blasio flashes smile outside New York City home after pics of hours-long makeout session emerge. Why do we care about this, Nick? Well, check it out. De Blasio, don't you get it twisted. He's hitting the ground running. Don't get it twisted. Oh, no. Bill de Blasio, a player's gonna play. Oh, no. Oh, grieving period? Oh, no. No. How many years was de Blasio married? A mourning period for the marriage that just ended? Oh, no. That was the past 30 years, my friend. De Blasio ain't mourning nobody. Oh, no. Player's gonna play. A player is gonna play, and de Blasio is hitting the ground running. Okay? Bill de Blasio has 3-hour heated, touchy-feely makeout session with mystery woman at rooftop bar. There's a point here. It's not just tabloid gossipy. 3 hours, dude. I don't. Last time I did that, I was like 12 or something. That's like you remember? You're like in school. Like very young, like first time ever making out ever. Maybe de Blasio, he's returned to a childlike sense of happiness now that he's free. And he's out here making out with mystery women for 3 hours. I don't need to show you footage, I guess. But this mystery woman, he's wasting no time here. Okay? They're saying this is her. 3 hours is a bit excessive, don't you think? What do you guys think? Don't you guys think 3 hours is a little bit much? Especially in public? Like, get a room. Like, 3 hours is one thing, and then 3 hours in public is another. Okay? DeBlasio turned her straight. That's true. Charlotte McRae says she was like lesbian. And then the alpha-based man of all men, DeBlasio, turned that crooked arrow straight. But it went crooked again. I think Charlene was saying that she wants to do like lesbian stuff again. The point is that they want to do their own thing for this reason right here. And what's the point here? They're out here making out 3 hours. Nick, why do you care? What else about this, though? What else about this report? They're here 3 times a week, staffer said. She dresses very political, too. Anyways, more comments about this possible new couple. But this is the funny thing about them. That they're really no different from us. The government's no really different from the people. It's kind of interesting that after years, 30 years of marriage, 2 kids, being a mayor, and having all these plans to bring good into the world, they probably had all these plans about having children, maybe even had thoughts on how it would go, and desires on how it should go and what they would like it to look like. But then you give up. Like, I understand that maybe not all marriages come under God. They don't come under the umbrella of God, and maybe it's not even a marriage anyways. But they did say that. They did say it was. And I won't tell Bill de Blasio not to leave space to realize maybe it's not a marriage. But you said it was. You told the world it was. You said, I'm going to marry this woman. Now, you don't just like change your mind, right? You don't just go back on that. You're like, oh, actually, you know what? I changed my mind. Even though people do all the time, we all recognize you don't and you shouldn't. Yet, we all have messy lives. How many people do you know in messy situations? Divorces, getting with people who are out of it, coming out of a divorce, and children out of wedlock. This or that situation you didn't plan to be in, but found yourself in out of your own lack of wanting to understand yourself, out of things inflicted on you that you must now overcome, whatever reason. But we find ourselves in these situations, just like Bill de Blasio did in a marriage that he found himself unhappy in. He said he was talking about how he was just unhappy in it. And unhappiness is not a reason to just end a marriage, right? Like, oh, I'm just not happy. But yet, we all operate, many of us and many people do, the whole world operates like that. Well, this doesn't feel right. I don't feel happy. This is not making me happy. And that's how we all are. You see what I'm saying? As easily as he could flip on his marriage, you could see an instability in running things and ideology and wanting to be tough when you need to be tough, etc. And you realize the government is just people, as strong as the weakest link. You know what I mean? I just want to get my Willi's pleasure, and I'm done with this 30-year marriage. I want sex and 3-hour makeout sessions. I'm done with responsibility. I'm done with doing things right. It's too hard. I want get a room. Jeez. So that's the show, y'all. All sorts of other stuff, too. We'll leave it for tomorrow. What are y'all saying in the chat? Rumble Rant from Evil is Still Real. Thank you, sir. Says the dog lies on their brisket. The surgeon uses a laryngoscope to gain accesses the larynx. Then they use a crushing instrument to destroy the vocal folds on one or both sides. Can do this to women? That sounds like the dog lies on their brisket. The surgeon. Oh, are you talking about a procedure to stop dogs from barking and being loud in general? Instead of training them and being the head of the dog, you'll just use surgery to put them in their place? Evil is still real? Can do this to women? Evil is still real asks. Now, as much as I can understand the sentiment here, don't be a Muslim. Don't be a Muslim. Evil is still real. This is so Muslim of you, man. Don't be a Muslim and recognize the evil of women, but then overreact and then, go all the way the other side and, I don't know, be crazy and crush their vocal folds using a laryngoscope because you can't bring them out of their hell into your heaven, which was which was given to you, which you were allowed to enter by your Father, your God, because you're a Christian, right? Don't be a Muslim, okay? That's so Muslim of you, man. Evil is still real with a Rumble Rant. Appreciate that, sir. Said an earlier one, says, Muslim lady wants a parking spot? Saudi Arabia had it right. Kill a woman for driving, says evil is still real. Margaret Sanger had the right idea, he says in an earlier Rumble Rant. Hunt them in the womb. I'm going to donate to Planned Parenthood in urban areas. Are you playing around? Evil is still real? That's messed up, man. That's messed up. Kind of funny, but kind of messed up. Most of that's messed up. Some of it's kind of funny, but 90% messed up. Yeah, don't be so Muslim. Evil is still real. Aren't you embarrassed? Or are you okay with that? Being a light until I rise. Thank you, sir. Says, what is thinking Pearl is mildly attractive? Y'all are so mean. All right, y'all. What else? I just want to make sure I'm chatting with y'all. I'm having fun chatting with you guys today. Scrolling up on the chat. All right, y'all. That's the show. I'm going to end her. All the ladies know Emo Nick, the 3-hour man. and you leave them with a scab on their lower chin area because your beard from making out way too much literally left raw skin. You ever seen that? I used to see some. I remember seeing a couple with a scab here, and someone telling me, "Yeah, that's because they were making out too much. That's because they were making out too much. You slew." All right, y'all. That's the show. Did I say everything I wanted to say for today? That's the show. That's the report. That's the news. That's the calls. That's the super chats, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. That's Thursday. We got a Bible Thumper Thursday. Awesome. You got to love it. Don't miss it. Tomorrow, Jesse Lee Peterson's show starting at 6 a.m. Pacific time. We got the Hake Report coming in at 9 a.m. And we got more American Anchor Baby tomorrow at 12, y'all. That's the show. Much appreciated. I had fun. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Let me sign off for the third and final time, y'all. Take care. Peace.